This is the LEONX M2 Pro electric bike, a big, full-suspension fat tire machine with an aluminum frame, 26 by 4.0 tires, a long wheelbase, and a chunky down tube that houses a removable 48 17.5-hour battery. Mine is black with a tough utilitarian look, wide riser bars, a half-twist throttle on the right, a bright color LCD with a USB port, and a 7-speed trigger shifter. It looks like it means business, and after 6 months, I can say it rides like it. From my experience, the headline is simple: power, comfort, and weight define this bike. The rear hub motor is rated 1000 watts nominal and 1800 watts peak with a claimed 110 millimeters of torque. That torque isn't just a number. It launches hard from a stop without feeling twitchy, and it eats hills. I have a couple of short but steep climbs in my area, and the M2 Pro flies up them even when the battery is halfway down. On open stretches, when unlocked, I've hit a GPS-verified 36 miles per hour with pedal assist and seen high 20s using throttle only. In my opinion, that top speed puts it closer to a small moto than a typical e-bike, so I treat it with the same respect. I usually keep the speed limiter on in town and only open it up on private paths or remote roads. Key features that sold me were the full suspension and the fat tires. The coil fork and center-mounted rear shock keep the ride cushy over cracked pavement, gravel, and mild dirt tracks. With 26 by 4.0 rubber, you get a big footprint that smooths chatter and grips well on loose stuff. The trade-off is steering feel. It's a heavy bike, over 90 pounds, and the front end likes to push if you dive into a tight corner on sand or pea gravel. Once I learned to set my line earlier and keep my weight centered, it felt predictable. On high-speed pavement, the bike feels planted, but I did get a mild speed wobble once around top speed after clipping a small bump with too much weight on the bars. Since then, I keep a light grip, check tire pressures before every ride, make sure the headset is snug, and keep things smooth. That's made a big difference. The controls are simple. The color display is bright in sunlight, shows the essentials, and the USB port is handy for topping off a phone. The bike offers 5 assist modes: full electric, throttle, pedal assist, cruise control, normal pedaling, and a walk boost for moving the bike up a ramp or into a garage. The pass levels are well spaced. In the limited mode, the ramp up is friendly. Unlocked, the higher levels hit harder. The 7-speed drivetrain is basic but reliable. It'll get you home if you run out of battery, but pedaling this much mass without assist is a workout. I keep the chain clean, and it shifts fine for what it is. Range is where expectations and reality need to match. The spec says 36 to 85 miles, and that's not impossible if you ride slow, stay on lower assist, and weigh light. From my experience at around 200 pounds, riding mixed terrain with pass 3 to 5 and some throttle blasts, I'm getting 25 to 35 miles on a full charge. If I keep it chill on PS2 at neighborhood speeds, I can stretch into the 40s. If you're heavier or you spend a lot of time at high speeds, expect less. I've ridden with a much heavier friend on a similar setup who saw 12 to 14 miles when hammering hills and throttle. The battery is removable with a key, which is great for charging inside, and I let the motor cool after aggressive sessions. Once or twice after long hard pulls, it sounded a little crunchy, and a short cool down fixed it. The good news on comfort is the suspension and tires do the heavy lifting. The not so good news is the stock saddle. In my opinion, that seat is too firm and oddly shaped. I swapped it after a week. I also replaced the seat post because the clamp teeth slipped on me under load. With the new post and a wider saddle, long rides feel much better. The grips and bars are fine. The riser shape keeps my posture upright, and the shifter and throttle placement are intuitive. The only nitpick is the shifter housing sits close to the grip, and my knuckles brushed it until I adjusted the angle. The single biggest issue, and this is where I'm being blunt for safety, is the braking system. The bike ships with 180 millimeters mechanical disc brakes. They work, but not well enough for a bike that weighs this much and can go this fast. Lever feel gets spongy as cables stretch or pick up grit, and the power just isn't there for repeated hard stops. After 2 weeks, I upgraded to hydraulic brakes with the same rotor size, and the difference was massive. Stronger bite, better modulation, far less hand effort, and much shorter stopping distances. If you plan to ride fast or carry heavy loads, I'd make hydraulic brakes your first upgrade. It transforms confidence. Durability and maintenance over 6 months have been straightforward otherwise. I check spoke tension, keep the chain lubricated, and watch tire pressure closely, because those fat tires change character with small PSI swings. The stock Kaoyang tires have been fine on pavement and light dirt. Off-road, I added tire liners after my first thorn flat and haven't had a puncture since. The electronics have been solid, and the integrated lights are bright enough for dusk rides. The horn is loud in traffic, which I appreciate. As for size and fit, this is a big frame with a long wheelbase. I'm a bit over 5'10", and it fits me well with some seat post adjustment. I've let a 6'4" friend ride it, and he felt more at home than on most e-bikes. It's not a great match for shorter riders. Even with the saddle low, it can feel tall and unwieldy. And hauling it upstairs is not fun. If you live in a walk-up, think twice. If you have a garage or ground floor storage, you'll be happier. It's perfect for riders who want serious torque, a plush ride on rough streets, and the stability of a fat tire chassis. In my opinion, it shines in suburban and rural settings, where you can stretch its legs, deal with hills, and enjoy that soft suspension over broken asphalt and gravel paths. I'd recommend this for bigger or taller riders who have struggled to find a bike that feels sturdy and powerful, and for tinkerers who don't mind swapping a few parts to dial it in. If you're brand new to fast e-bikes, I'd still consider it, but I'd keep it speed limited at first and budget for hydraulic brakes and a better saddle right away. Key features I value most after months of use are the motor's climbing strength, the calm suspension over rough ground, the bright display with the USB charge port, and the removable battery that makes charging convenient. The trade-offs are weight, the stock brakes, and the seat. Those are manageable if you go in with clear expectations. From my experience, if you treat the M2 Pro as a powerful platform rather than a finished set-and-forget ride, you'll be thrilled. The core, motor, battery, frame, and suspension delivers. With hydraulic brakes, a good saddle, and puncture protection, it becomes a fast, plush, confidence-inspiring cruiser that handles tough commutes and weekend exploring with ease. If you need to carry a lot of weight, it feels built for it. If you need to carry the bike upstairs, it's not. In conclusion, the LEONX M2 Pro electric bike gives you serious speed and comfort for the money, with the clear caveat that the braking system needs an upgrade to match its capability. The range is honest if you ride within reason, the handling rewards a smooth touch, and the comfort becomes excellent once you fix the saddle. It's a lot of bike, and in the right hands, it's a blast. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel, and drop your questions or your own experience with the M2 Pro in the comments. Thank you for watching.